Hello, honey.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Still question is this is a part two about how to honor your parents.
With children, right?
Yeah, children.
And so the other thing I think we were going to talk about was faithfulness and something else. Love and faithfulness.
Okay.
Okay. So in the first part we talked about not shaming, bringing a bad name to your family, and how we need to do that as Christians as well, not shame the name of Christ, but that, and then
obey your parents.
That and obedience. So
And
not bringing shame and obeying your parents.
and ask for advice will be also honoring.
Yeah. Well, that's really important. Is that I can't think of a single child that comes looking for advice, because, like I said in the other video, we're quick to give it, but it would really be nice if kids said, "Hey, Dad, what do you think about this?" or "Hey, Mom, what do you think about that?" Yeah. The other two issues of this idea that they have to remain faithful and demonstrate love. I don't know which of those two words, faithfulness or love, has been more misunderstood by modern culture, but let's take love to begin with. God says that he corrects those or disciplines those that he loves. Yeah. And so God himself connects correction with love.
Yeah.
But the modern concept of love is simply, you always have to forgive, and you just have to give them hugs and mercy. And, right. Yeah. But if there's no correction involved, how much love do you really have for somebody? Because if they're, the classic one I use is that if you see a guy in a canoe going down a stream, and there's a waterfall, you're going to say, "Hey, you're going the wrong way." Yeah. So you mean you don't even want to see a stranger die, but how many times do we not tell kids that they're going the wrong way? Yeah. So how much love is there? It's almost like we're ashamed.
Yeah, love is a correction.
It's got to have correction. So the way I've always described it, it's a three-legged stool. Yeah. You've got forgiveness, mercy, grace, all of those things. You've got service, sacrifice. That's the second leg. But the third leg has to be correction and discipline. And the whole thing, you can't sit on a two-legged stool. You got to have three legs. Amen. You can't love without correction. Yeah. So for children, I've always told Jonathan and Elizabeth that if they see me doing something wrong, I want them to say something. Yeah, me too. Because you don't have to be older and smarter to see an error. In fact, sometimes it's kids that see our biggest problems in us. Yeah. And we need to encourage our children to speak up, whether it's their sibling, a brother or sister, or your parents.
I think it is corrected by love, by the way, not respect for that kind of thing.
Well, and my point is that if we encourage our kids to offer correction to us with respect, in a respectful, honoring way, they will then associate it with care and love when we correct them. Because if they're willing to correct us, then all we're doing is playing it back to them. And so correction should be think about the church. One of my biggest complaints that people give me in the thousands of people that I've talked with that have stopped going to church is that there's no accountability. They don't hold each other accountable. Well, if we're not demonstrating true loving correction in the church, and we're going to church all the time, where are the kids getting an example of good loving correction outside of their own family? They got to see it active in their own church as well. And then the other one is faithfulness. Boy, let me start by saying that would it be weird if God's told us somewhere in the Bible, "Hey, stay with a wife 18 years and then you can get a new one, or you can just become unmarried. You've done your job." But that's what we say with our kids.
No matter how old you're always a father.
Listen, children, no matter how old you are, Your parents are always your parents.
Yeah,
And
older than.
Like I told my son Jonathan, I will always be 50 years older. No matter how old you get,
Yeah,
I'll always be 50 years older.
yeah,
You can't beat that until I die. So the faithfulness that children express is that they always keep their mother and father as someone to honor and respect and obey. If they're 30 years, do you know how old Jacob was when he was taken up to be offered as a sacrifice?
77 years old.
No, I mean Isaac, when God told Abraham.
I think 30, over 30 years
Over
old.
30 years old. It's well documented. And then also with Isaac, his father Abraham told him at 40 where he was going to get his wife.
Yeah.
Isaac was 77 when his father Jacob told him where he was going to get the wife from.
No, Jacob was 77.
Yeah, Jacob was 77 when Isaac said, go up to Laban's place and find a wife. Mm-hmm. So he was obeying his father when he was 77 years old. You know, Isaac was obeying his father Abraham when he was 40. Mm-hmm. You never outgrow your parents.
Yeah.
And so the faithfulness comes from remaining respectful and obedient to them no matter how old you get.
Yeah.
You don't automatically walk out on your parents at 18.
Yeah.
Never. So.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your teaching.
You're welcome.
God bless you.